Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa.
Welcome one and all as we finish our week off here from Gulfstream Park.
Here.
And there he is. We go live, as Tony and Defo used to hear all the time. Going live. We go live
to Nashville,
Tennessee, and the one and only Mike Mayo.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me loud and clear? Because I am on the streets of Nashville, and it is called Music City for a reason, Jeff Defo DeForest. I know you love live music, and I'm going to be strolling down that river of, I don't know if it's River of Dreams or Nightmares, because it's all these bachelorette parties that go down Broadway, but it's wall to wall, row after row of music venues where there's just all these different cover bands, country bands. I'm standing outside now on 4th Street, which is right around the corner, and you can see behind me, I don't know if you can see the sign behind me. It is Morgan Wallen has his own bar and country music venue here. And I don't know if the name, does anybody know the name Morgan Wallen?
I know him well.
I do. I do.
Do you know what he's now infamous for? Well, a
He
couple
doesn't
of
lean
things.
our way. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
Well, no, he had a ruckus a few years ago during COVID when he got invited to Saturday Night Live and then was disinvited because it was he was out at a COVID party in Alabama. And then ended up doing the show. But then he did the show about 6 weeks ago, and he kind of stormed off the stage very brusquely and some would say rudely after the show, didn't hang around. And then he posted on Instagram, headed back to God's country. So I guess this must be God's country.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
You're right about that venue over there. Every place is music. I mean, you can't get away from it. It's truly remarkable.
Defo, have you been to this city?
I've been through there. I never really stayed there long enough to really have any significant experiences there. But everybody says it's great. My son goes there quite frequently. His wife was just there on a little adventure, and they love it. And they also think it's culinary delight, my friend, which I know you're having a lot of experiences there.
It is. Yesterday was the, I guess, drugs, rock and roll portion of the trip, because I saw Pearl Jam for the first time last night at the Bridgestone Hockey Arena, which is around the corner. Really nice venue. I mean, they probably sat about 15,000 for the concert. It was sold out. I was in the, let's say, the euchre seats, not exactly the front row, but it was a great show. And it was, Eddie Vedder. Talk about a voice. That guy, I don't know how old he is. He must be in his 60s at this point. I mean, Pearl Jam's been around for 35 years, but his voice just soars. And it was impressive because right from the get-go, usually sometimes these older singers need a couple of songs to warm up their vocal cords, but he was in full throttled, booming, impressive voice right from the get-go. 2.5-hour set. 25 songs, and the highlight last night was he welcomed to the stage to perform the song Black, which is one of their big hits, Peter Frampton, a musical guitar legend who lives. Yeah.
Yes.
And Peter Frampton, I didn't realize, lives in Nashville, and Frampton has been kind of slowed by some, he has like a neurological condition, which prevents him from walking. He's like basically sits in a chair. He does do limited tours and performs now sitting in a chair, but his fingers are able to still move really nimbly. Wow. And I tell you, the crowd went wild when Eddie Vedder introduced Peter Frampton to come on and accompany the band during that song.
Yeah, it must have been crazy.
Yeah. And just, they alternate set lists. They don't always play all their top hits every night. But we did get a great smattering of, they played alive. That's their big anthem hit. They played, they closed with Yellow Ledbetter, which is a
Yeah,
song they don't always uh, uh, perform. And then during their encores, they did a really rousing rendition of Neil Young's "Rocking, Keep on Rocking in the Freeway." So,
Man, that must have been, geez, awesome.
yeah, and to see it in this place where music is so appreciated, and Eddie Vedder was in an ebullient mood. He was chugging from a bottle of 2019 Barolo. He was
Oh,
getting a little
wow.
bit well
You're lying.
lubricated. He was very very chatty, and I was a little concerned because the last time I saw a band that where the lead frontman was chugging from a bottle of wine, it was Perry Farrell and Jane's Addiction, and 3 days later at a concert in Boston, they started swinging at each other, Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro, and they broke up. It was the end of the tour and the end of the band, but it seemed like Pearl Jam, everybody's harmonious, and even though Eddie was maybe a little bit well lubricated last night, he hit all his notes. The song sounded great. Everybody was in a great mood. And at one point, he brought out a guitar that had been given to him by another Nashville resident, Jack White, of
Oh,
course, a
wow.
great musician. So you could tell he was into it. Fantastic time. But now we move on to the food portion of the trip, and I've got everything lined up. How are you guys doing over there today? Defo, anything happening out there today at the track? It's a little bit more sedate than Oaks Day last Friday, hey?
No doubt, yeah. People in anticipation of next week in the Preakness. We don't know what's going to happen there, but kind of quieter.
Yeah, Mother's Day on Sunday, and it's really quiet.
Well, I forgot it. Yeah, they're gearing up for Mother's Day, right? Because Joe talked about they were like already had tons and tons of reservations, and Joe will join us at 1:30, so he can get further into Mother's Day. But yeah, I forget they're gearing up for Mother's Day. Look, it feels a little disappointing that we're not going to see someone at least try to run for a Triple Crown.
Yeah, but before we get into the Preakness and Triple Crown and hard to talk, I did want to talk Mother's Day a little bit. Very pleased to hear from Joe Baker, who should be joining us later in the hour, that the Mother's Day special enhanced brunch at Ten Palms, they have over 800 reservations in the book, which is rivaling the numbers they see for like Florida Derby Day. So I'm very pleased that people have responded. I've been obviously talking about it here, and the word about Ten Palms is catching on. However, I also got notice from our friend Jack Studiali at our great sponsor, Tropical Acres, that there's still availability all day. I was a little surprised because they fill up for these Sunday holidays. So they are open 1 to 8 p.m. at Tropical Acres this Sunday. And you give them a call right now at 954-989-2500. It's great news for procrastinators, which is what I simply am. If you're still looking for a spot to have a great meeting that celebrates the moms and girls, give Tropical Acres a call. Again, 1 to 8 p.m. And they have availability throughout the day. So you could do the brunch and bet a couple of races at Gulfstream, like let's say, and then go catch a dinner at Tropical Acres at about 7:30. Sounds like a perfect jelly double food.
Yeah, it sounds like a perfect day.
Yeah. Okay, and I am on Broadway now, and I don't know if you could hear this. Just even now, it's fairly noon here, an hour behind. And
there it is. I was curious when the walking would actually affect the actual broadcasting.
He's frozen.
He is frozen.
He's
walking. I mean, that's their horrendous idea. We are here at Gulfstream Park. We are at Ten Palms, as we are each and every Friday. Mother's Day is here. You're back, Mr. Walking. And there we go. Okay. And he's back. I have to bring him back on. I do, but I know he was trying to talk a little Mother's Day, and I guess he's here. No, we lost him. All right. We talked about it the other day, but I did want to get more into with you two guys. I know Diva got to touch on it, but we did want to touch on the fact that there won't be a Triple Crown. We already know now before the second race that there will not be a Triple Crown. And this is going to be fun.
There he is.
And there's Mr. Mayo.
I'm back. I've learned my lesson. Don't walk up the block. This is stay in.
They're walking around a horrendous idea. I was going to do that on the telephone via text instead of on the air. But yes, that's a horrible idea. I love Man on the Street, but they're usually
stay put.
Usually a reporter that you go to, you leave, and then they leave very quickly because it is hard to harness technology on the move.
Yes, but so I'm staying stationary. Can you see and hear me at this point?
You look better, sound better, and I believe we won't
Loud
lose
and clear.
you 25.
Oh, good. Now, what I haven't seen yet, oh, wait, I see one in the distance. Let's see as it turns. They have these enormous flatbed trucks and buses that where these caravans of young women who are at these bachelorette parties that everybody seems to swarm here to Nashville and go abroad for think, oh, there's one behind me now. They call it the Pedal Tavern. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a whole bunch of rows. You know how they have those boats that
Yeah.
go out on the river, those like kind of tiki bar drinking festivals? Well, they have those on wheels here. It's a bunch of, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but they're just already imbibing and getting slapped here at it's a party central down here. And as I walked down here last night, Val and my friend Ed after the concert, and just again, it was the streets were packed, all the bars had bands going, and it felt like a slightly wider but no better urban street in Orleans. But the only positive was it was not any real puddles of I guess
Urine.
unknown detritus, and yeah, it didn't smell like puke and urine on Broadway here. I guess the locals are a little better behaved than maybe.
So what's it
partiers
do with
that
the
come-
food? Before we talk Preakness, before we talk Ten Palms Brunch Contest, you are Mike Mayo. You are known sort of for a certain affliction or interest or hobby. I love that you. My favorite was the post asking for restaurants, but you
Yes.
already have 10 reservations. So how do you ask for restaurants when you already have like 10 reservations?
I'm always open to more suggestions, and I really did appreciate everybody who chimed in on the Let's Eat South Florida group. But yeah, I mean, I've already kind of gone to my expert sources, particularly the guys at Even Keel, Dave McLennan and Brad. Dave has been to Nashville a couple times, and our friends from the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Bill Morrow has been here. He loves this city. He says it's one of his favorite food cities. And so I got some suggestions from them. And yes, even though I'm trying not to think about food all the time, it's funny how my travels tend to revolve around making reservations at the best spots and then just plotting out a course of hitting them all. So yeah, I have got reservations lined up both today and tomorrow, lunch and dinner at some of Nashville's finest establishments. I don't know if these names mean anything to anybody out there, but
Me.
the one name that I kept hearing, especially from Dave Mack and Field Mouse, said you got to go to Locust. It's one of these kind of fancy food, but everything in Nashville, it's kind of like more relaxed. You could show up in, I think, shorts and t-shirts, but they'll still feed you. And this place called Locust, I looked on their dinner reservations. They didn't have anything available till June 3rd.
Jesus.
But then I didn't realize they are open for lunch. So I was able to snag a lunch reservation at Locust for tomorrow at noon. And then today I'm going to lunch at a place called Audrey, which is run by the famed acclaimed chef Sean Brock, who grew up in, I think, West Virginia or Appalachia. He went to Charleston and made a name for himself with some restaurants in Charleston, South Carolina. Became really good friends with Anthony Bourdain and was on a couple of really outstanding episodes of Tony Bourdain's former series, No Reservations. And but Sean Brock moved to Nashville, I think about 10 years ago, and he opened up a restaurant called Husk, but then he left Husk and now he has this place called Audrey. So we're going there for lunch today. I'm very excited about that. Dinner tonight at a place called Henrietta Red, which is always highly regarded. I think a couple of women chefs that have got nominated for Beard Awards. So, and then tomorrow I've got Locust for lunch, and then at night, a place called Urban Grub that is supposed to be very good. So I've got 4 of them. We might squeeze in a couple more for some snacks. I gotta
Well,
get some hot
and I know I'm going to regret asking this because I do actually want to keep everything on a track of some kind, even though that's not anything we do ever. I don't know if you mock Defo and I, but I know you take a different approach. But Defo and I actually will have mainstays, but we like, from what I've experienced, at least through Defo. But personally, I know Shirley and I, we like going somewhere and then finding restaurants because we're there and people live there and they tell you things, or you just go, oh, this looks interesting. Like, does Mike Mayo leave any room for that? Like, is there any room for going to this? Nashville is known as one of the more modern food cities. Do you leave room for, okay, let's find something when we're there? Like, is there a neuroses about it? Like, deplaning every meal? Like, do you leave any room for finding something while at a location?
In my defense, I didn't book 2 of these reservations until after I landed.
Okay.
But there's always room for some, I guess, spontaneity. We've got Sunday open all day until we head back, and I know Val loves 2 things. She does love fried chicken, so we're going to try to find a good fried chicken spot. Sunday brunch. It's Mother's Day, so we're not going to get into a fancy place, but there's a couple of these stalls, like the food incubator places, where they have these stalls. And doing my research, there's people on the Let's Eat thread. One guy who I respect a lot, his name's Titus Vespucci. He's from Chicago, but spends his winters in Delray. He's a food blogger. He has really good taste. He was touting this kind of small stall at this entrepreneur pub. It's in a former car wash, so the place is called Mom. But it's a Thai chicken place that is open on Sundays, and it seems like it's going to be local, but it has kind of like Tennessee Nashville style hot fried chicken, but with a Thai twist. So I think we're definitely going to head there on Sunday. And I don't know, Phil keeps saying, "Oh, there's these great pizza places here," but I don't want to come to Nashville for pizza. That's
No.
Hey, so let's take our first break, and then we'll come back and we'll do the contest. And I might pop up at a different location. Hopefully, we'll have some reception. But let us take our first break heading into the weekend. And before we do, also for those who want to just kind of chill out at home, maybe watch the playoffs, and maybe just throw some steaks on the grill for Mom. Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market, 4191 North State Road 7 is the place to go. We're going to be there later in the month before the big Memorial Day weekend. I can't believe summer grill season and Memorial Day is almost here. And that is headquarters for all your grilling needs, whether it's great fresh food. We got the shrimp from the Key West. Those are great on the barbecue, along with whole fish and steaks, and of course those sausages that Tony Segreto loves. Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market is, again, open 7 days a week. And go online to their website at delawarechicken.com to sign up for their weekly newsletter to stay on top of all their specials and latest happenings. All right, let's take the first break. We'll come back. We'll do a contest, and then we'll welcome Joe Beja. I think he's going to be in full-blown, he's a Vegas Knights fan. They took it on the chin last night, but he's also a huge New York Knicks fan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up in a way
like
that will.
Larry Johnson
Who would have
jersey.
ever thought? Who would have ever thought the Knicks would tie it?
I mean, this is great. Tie it. They're up to
No, they're up
nothing.
to nothing.
The Cavs are down 0-2. The Celtics are down 0-2. The Panthers are down 0-2. And there's an American Pope. What the heck is going on in the world? It's completely upside down. All right, let's take the first break, and we'll come back with more from this fragmented edition of the Lunchbox after these words.
When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go. on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch and Taco Tuesdays, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com.
Hey, Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see it continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to
All right. It looks like we're back on the Lunchbox. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yes.
All right. I have changed locations. Can you see what I'm standing next to?
No, what is it? Like some
You
statue?
see a statue? Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Nashville also erected a statue to Dwayne Wade, and it looks just like him.
Shut up.
No, I'm actually, I don't know if you can see behind me. I'm standing in front of the world famous Ryman Auditorium, another one of the great musical venues that Nashville has. And again, some legendary performers, both country and the world of general pop and rock and roll, performed here. Johnny Cash. But this statue here is a guy named Little Jimmy Dickens. And apparently he was a country music legend. He debuted at the Ryman in 1948 and became one of the great members of the Grand Ole Opry. Now, the Grand Ole Opry House used to be located in downtown. I think they knocked it down and moved it out to where the I think it's called the Gaylord Resort that's on the outskirts of town. I think the Ryman used to be a different, or I think it's the same theater, but they refurbished it so it's all more modern. Again, Tony, have you been here before, Tony Segreto?
I've been there many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
For Dolphin games or other sporting events? Or
Dolphin games and other sporting events, yes.
Yeah. So again, the streets are rich with music and musical history.
It is so cool to walk down the streets and hear the different kinds of music
Like, 'cause that's the thing, right? It's not just like everyone assumes
No.
it's country, but supposedly Nashville's become like a big hub of like music in general. Like a lot of musicians, from what I've heard, like actors go to LA or New York, but a lot of musicians like move to Nashville
Oh yeah.
because there's a lot of places to play. You get a lot, and you can get found, you can get seen. There's a lot of production companies there.
Yes, a lot of recording studios and a lot of session work, for these musicians,
Yes.
have dreams of fronting their own bands. The way they get started is they start kind of hanging out and, get discovered, and maybe they'll sit in on a session with a, more renowned band or musician, and then, that's the way they climb the ladder. So,
If I'm not mistaken, one of the all-time famous studio bands, Steely Dan,
yeah.
recorded
Started there. Oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of people have recorded here. Everybody from Elvis Costello and obviously, country music legends and Johnny Cash. And I don't know, did Elvis ever record here? I know his initial studios were over in Memphis, but I imagine at one point the other Elvis Presley, besides Elvis Costello. Yeah, I'm an Elvis Costello fan. He's a good one.
He's a
Uh,
good one.
yeah, but anyway, let's do the contest now. Might as well do it
Contest,
before
my
Joe Beja gets there. And we're going to be doing, I guess, a Mother's Day themed contest, since it is Mother's Day this Sunday. And for those who still have mothers in their lives, cherish them while they're here. I lost mine before last Mother's Day. So this is my second one without her. And obviously, I miss her very, very much. Lubie, what kind of plans you got for the Mother's Day?
So Shirley and her sister are taking her sister's in town. She actually just went to London and Edinburgh, and then they flew out of Miami. So they just got back, and they're taking her mom to high tea today. They would have actually done it at House on the River, but they didn't.
Right.
They Fridays there, I guess, is like an additional high tea, so they only do big parties. So she found some high tea. So they're taking her mom to high tea at 5 today, which thank goodness that saves us, because mothers are usually a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
I mean, we're lucky to have our mothers alive. I'm not complaining about it, but we are very close with our families, which is good. But then you do the thing, because the one positive about being a mixed religion couple is we don't fight over holidays, right? Like we don't have to do every other year. We do the Jewish holidays and the Christian holidays, and there's no beef. Everyone's happy. Everyone feels loved. Mother's Day is one of the rare holidays where it's universal. It's not like even Thanksgiving's American, or her family will come or they won't, whatever. Like Mother's Day is the one day and everyone, where most people do dinner, we like brunch, and both sides like doing it early, because we have the kids on my side, and then her side, her parents love brunch. So them doing that today saves me a lot of tummus, as we say, or tumult. And we'll do Sunday. We're gonna do like a brunch at my sister's house. So I'm really stoked for Mother's Day this year.
I think the word is stirrus. It means where you get that rumbling in your stomach. Tony, I mean, anything on tap for you and your wife, who is a mom?
My wife is in Detroit.
Oh, so you must get off easy.
handling her mother's estate. So I'm a lone ranger.
Oh, okay, and I'm sorry that she just recently lost her mom. And
Yes,
yeah,
about a year ago, and
yeah.
it's she was really close with her mother, so it's really, really hard. This is her first.
Oh, it is.
This is her first without her mother, and they're going to go to the grave. They're going to do
at least she'll be with her family, her brothers and stuff. Yeah.
So, so I'll be a lone ranger, but I'll be praying. I'll be sending out texts to all the mothers I know.
That's smart, man.
Very nice. And Defo, anything with your daughter-in-law and your grandkids, or what do you got on tap?
Nothing planned for Sunday. I would have to say no. But what kind of fiasco? I mean, you're not big on these kind of holiday things. You usually are very much in defense of the restaurants having to deal with. What are you looking forward to on Let's Eat South Florida in terms of the kinds of input that you get, Mike Mayo? I mean, is that why you left town?
Yeah, basically.
Never mind Pearl Jam.
Yeah. Yeah, restaurants are in a real jam on Sunday because it's one of the busiest days of the year. Everybody wants to treat their mothers well, but you got to understand that everybody in the world has a mother. And and that everybody likes to treat mom well. So restaurants tend to be a little more crowded on Sunday. Have a little patience, have a little compassion, treat your servers well. If things are going a little bit slow or something goes sideways, just order another glass of Prosecco for mom and yourself. And I don't want to see a whole barrage of never going back. I went to dinner on Saturday and we had to wait 20 minutes past our reservation. I'm like, oh my God, you people get a grip. But yeah, no, it's one of those major food holidays that have a little patience, have a little good humor, have a little bit of sympathy and empathy for the people.
Mother's Day was always that way, though.
Oh yeah,
Mother's Day is
because everyone wants to celebrate mom.
Yes. Oh,
No, we lost it. There it is.
One of those freaking spending.
Everyone,
Don't answer.
everyone
So you
wants to
get
celebrate
them.
mom.
Am I back? Am I here?
So you want to get into the contest, Mr.
Yes, let's
Nashville?
do it. Yeah, let's do it before I get another spam call that throws me off. But all right, so it is time for this week's 10 Palms at Gulfstream Sunday Brunch Contest. And new wrinkle starting this week, thanks to our great friend Mark Falsetto at Taco Craft. He is now awarding the runner-up every week. And I guess it's up to me to determine the runner-up if we don't have a tiebreaker, but I'll figure it out. But the runner-up every week now will get a $25 gift card to any Taco Craft that has 4 locations in Broward. So that's a little bonus consolation prize for those who come close. But of course, the main prize is all expense brunch package for 2 right here at 10 Palms, or right there at 10 Palms. It's going to be a good one this weekend because they got the enhanced buffet, $85 for mom. But every Sunday, the buffet is spectacular at 10 Palms. So it's great because it's an all-inclusive package, including the 1 mimosa piece, along with tax and gratuities included. And that definitely makes the people on Let's Eat South Florida happy. They don't even have to reach for the tip if they win the contest. All right, here we go. So there's 3 components. We're going to give you the restaurant trivia question. Then you have to come up with the winner of this week's Saturday Gulfstream contest race, which is, what did I say it was? The last race on the card, I think, the 10th race. Is that
race 10? Yeah, 10th race, numbers 1 through 14.
It's a full field because they have a really interesting program going on. They're calling it the Royal Palm Juvenile Stakes, and there's a division for the 2-year-old fillies, but we're focusing on the 2-year-old colts. It's going to be the 10th race, full field of 14, 1 through 14. There will be some late scratches with the also eligibles. So if you get if your horse selection scratches, you get the post time favorite. It's scheduled for 5 furlongs on the turf for the 2-year-olds, full field. So number 1 through 14 for the 10th race. And much to Joe Beja and Ken Professor's delight, the tiebreaker this week is going to be Game 3 in the NBA playoff series between the New York Knickerbockers and the Boston Celtics. It's going to be at Madison Square Garden tomorrow, I think at 3:30. It's going to be on ABC or ESPN. Tip off 3:30. Got to get those. And again, you're going to give me the winner and the point margin in that Celtics-Knicks game. A very surprising series so far. Let's see if the Celtics can get back into it. And again, send all 3 components to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by tomorrow, May 10th. Any late entries will go into the circular bin, also known as my delete file. So MikeMayoEats@gmail.com, noon tomorrow. And you ready for it?
Yeah, I'll do it. Let me just do it. For this week's restaurant, we go with a matriarchal theme for Sunday's holiday. The clues, number 1, my God, I love it. It's so funny. You gave Defo crap for talking about old school restaurants, and I feel like every other week I hear or see the word bygone. Number 1, this bygone, and again, you also mocked the overrun area full of Italian restaurants. But I feel like every other week it's Italian. Number 1, this bygone Italian restaurant used to be on the south side of Young Circle in Hollywood, and among its regular lunch patrons was the late great Joe DiMaggio. So I feel like a lot of people get it after that. I have no idea. Number 2, similarly named restaurants now operate in Boynton Beach and Wilton Manors, but neither are related to the one that shuttered in Hollywood. And number 3, it's also the title of a Broadway musical and a 2008 movie starring Meryl Streep based on the ABBA hit of the same name. Oh, okay, that'll give it away. Good luck and happy weekend, especially to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. And remember, by 12 p.m., put all the components together at MikeMayoEats@gmail.com.
Thank you, Lubie. You did that exceptionally well. I'm going to let you do it every
I can read. I got a master's. Look at me.
Do you guys know it? Tony Segreto, do you know that place in Morris Engelberg? Joe D's lawyer used to go to 2 places in Hollywood. Like him and Joe DiMaggio would go together to lunch like every day during the week. and it was only two places they went. One was this place, and the other one was Deli Den in Hollywood.
Yes,
I
I
don't know if
do.
you. Yeah. So, all right, we'll see how many out there know it, and it's going to be another great fun contest. And we have, I guess, is Joe Beja waiting in the wing? Should we take?
He's
Let's
going to
take
be
our
coming
second
shortly,
break.
so we can take our break, and then Joe should be here.
Okay, great. Let's take our second break and we'll come back. Before we do, one more suggestion for this long Mother's Day weekend batch. Uh, New Southern Kitchen and Tap is a great place to treat mom or anybody in your circle to a great brunch. They are known for their weekend brunches, and with Memorial Day coming up, they'll also have their brunch on Monday, Memorial Day. So it's always something to keep in mind. They also have the unlimited beverage option, so, where you get all their great house-made drinks. They have all kinds of mimosa varietals that they offer, along with some of their other house-made cocktails and spirits. We love batch. We're going to be set up. So first time visit later this month. I did talk to Kevin, and hopefully we'll get to see Kevin again because we haven't seen him in a few months, but we're going to do it in a new location. We're going to do it on a Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the month, and I made it later in the day, but we're going to be going up to the West Palm Beach location for the first time because I've never been to the Clematis Street. We figure we'll mix it up. They have one in Delray Beach, in the West Delray Marketplace, and they also have the flagship down in Fort Lauderdale, 525 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. Go into Batch, tell them the Lunchbox sent you, and we'll have fun up in West Palm Beach on, I believe it's the Tuesday, the day after Mother's Day. We'll be up there in West Palm Beach. We give you plenty of time. I know you have some business in the morning, Lubie, but you should
we're
get
going
up
to West
there.
Palm. Oh, I just
We're going to West Palm. Yes. Yeah.
Yay!
So,
That's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, more miles on the car. We
No,
can
well,
handle it.
if Kevin's there, that'd be great. We haven't seen Kevin in a while. I'd love to see Kevin.
Yeah. And I've never seen that location.
No,
So
we've never
why not?
gone.
Yeah, why not? As we head into the summer season. All right, let's take our second break. We'll come back with Joe Beja and talk about Knicks, and maybe we'll rub the
Oh, so
Vegas
did
Knights
you
in
realize
his
my buddy
face.
just sent me this, and we'll go that Jalen Brunson's path is literally the Pope's path. Jalen Brunson, I guess, is from the same Chicago high school or similar Chicago high school. Jalen Brunson went to Villanova, and he is the captain, just like the Pope is the Pope. So I don't know, the Knicks stuff, even though I can't stand the Knicks, is coming. The Villanova, it's coming together pretty well for your Knicks fans. The Cavs are down 0-2. You're up 2-0. The West, who knows what the hell that is? So the Knicks are sort of rounding out into form. It seems like
A big game 3 tomorrow. I don't know. Well, we'll get into predictions
we'll talk
later
about
on.
it.
Let's take the second break. We'll be back with more after these words.
For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's fat. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the new river. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of Science Museum. For reservations and
All right. We're back on the Lunchbox. They are at Ten Palms at Gulfstream Park
You ought
in
to see. You ought to see.
Palmdale Beach.
You ought to
Yeah,
see.
go ahead.
You ought to see Joe Beja sitting here.
So he doesn't have a jersey,
He's got his Knicks,
but he does
hat
have a
on.
Knicks hat.
I almost
Okay.
bought a Knicks jersey. I thought about it. You know, I was going to break out the vintage Bernard King, but I wore a
I
hat.
I was expecting full regalia today. I'm very disappointed, Joe, but that's
I
okay.
really almost wore my
Uh,
Spike Lee neon orange and blue sky shirt. I have that. I almost did it. Maybe that'll be for next Friday if the Knicks win. No, I'm kidding. We'll see
So
about that.
I didn't realize this whole Pope angle that Jalen Brunson and the Pope have taken similar paths. So maybe it is
Yeah.
in the stars in the heavens that's preordained that the Knicks are going to finally maybe break through after 52 years or however long it's been. But meanwhile, we welcome back to the show, as usual, the great executive director of hospitality at Gulfstream Park, Joe Beja. He is pumped about his Knicks, a little bit deflated about his Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes.
Oh, that was a brutal ending last night.
Last night
You
was
can
rough.
tell those teams. But how are you doing this week, Joe?
We're doing great. We're doing really good. Expecting a very busy weekend at the track. Obviously, Mother's Day on Sunday, and we have a lot of people coming tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to celebrate a day earlier or just we have a lot of groups that are coming into the track. So we have
Great.
almost 500 reservations
Oh,
tomorrow
wow.
on Saturday.
Wow,
which is
really?
great.
Wow.
And Mother's Day, we have our 900, which is kind of where we top it off.
900.
It's really kind of
Maybe-
where we top it off. I thought we did 8, but we're at 9.
Oh, this is great. So I'm going to attribute it to the
Yeah,
Lunchbox
tell us.
bump. But no. Look, and again, on the Let's Eat group, more and more people seem to be discovering the charms of Ten Palms, a great place to take mom or really anybody, visitors from out of town, because it's a full day of action. You could play the races, or if you don't care about the horses, you still get a full day of entertainment and, eating, and you can have a little bit of breakfast when it opens. Is it opening 11 o'clock this Sunday? Or is it 11
Yes,
o'clock?
we'll be opening up
11 o'clock?
11 o'clock on Sunday. We're not taking any more reservations on open table just so we can control it. So
wow.
again, if there's anyone, if they want to go through you or find me on Facebook Messenger or something, we can still take a few, curated reservations, I guess you could say. And we'll do some walk-ups because I'm sure there'll be some cancellations. We do get a lot of people that like to double book. So we always expect like 10% of the reservations to
Yeah.
end up
Okay.
going to the location.
Well, let me ask you, as a guy who works in the restaurant biz, it's funny you say that. Like Saturdays are lovely here. We love them and they're busy, but it's interesting. You yourself notice the reservations are up. Would you advise? Look, we're in an area where people love to complain. We are on a group where people live to complain. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Would you advise people? Like my wife is her and her sister taking their mother out today because you get to have the experience. You get to say it's Mother's Day and you don't have to deal with a lot of the fuss, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, would you advise? Look, if you don't want to deal with that, you can still say it's Mother's Day on Saturday or Friday.
Correct. That's what I say. I thought about doing Saturday night, but I have a commitment this Saturday night. So my mother being in town, I'm probably going to do a Sunday dinner. I still haven't quite made a reservation yet, quite honestly, because I would show the time I'm going to get out of here. But
gotta do a Sunday dinner with gravy.
I'll do a Sunday dinner with my mom and stuff. Yeah.
That's nice. And give your mom my regards.
send
I
me the
love
dish,
her
yeah.
meatballs. I cannot wait till the next Super Bowl party. Casa de Beja. Hey, meanwhile, Joe, so I'm here standing on the streets of Nashville. I'm in front of the Ryman Auditorium, world famous venue. I don't know if you can see, I have my Pearl Jam t-shirt on.
I love it. Same one I bought.
Oh, nice.
Well, I figure I have to buy some merch because later this summer, I think we're going to bring back the second annual Pearl Jam by the Sea Oyster and Seafood Festival with the guys
That
from
was such a hit.
Even Keel. Yeah, and got a meeting lined up with the Brain Trust and Brad and
good.
Dave over at
I didn't
Even
have to
Keel
annoy you. I'm proud of you.
next Tuesday. So I figured I'd buy this shirt for the event because usually I don't buy the overpriced t-shirts and merch. But hey, it's my first time seeing Pearl Jam, so why not? It was a great show. And the Ryman, Joe, have you been to Nashville much or at all? Because this is a great music and
I
food
went
town.
summer of 23. I loved it. I went to the Ryman Auditorium, and I loved the history behind it and the story behind it, and definitely would love to catch a show there at some point. I love that they had the original church pews back from the early 1900s, and they number the seats with the little, numbers on the back, so because you walk up to a pew in an aisle, and you have seats 5 and 6, and they actually numbered on the pew where you're going to sit and stuff. So
yeah, I'm flashing the plaque. I don't know if I've got my camera in the right place, but basically, it basically says Ryman Auditorium. There's a plaque, one of the most celebrated venues in music history. Ryman Auditorium is hallowed ground. While renowned as the mother church of country music, the Ryman has regularly hosted a diverse array of iconic performers, including Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees such as Hank Williams, B.B. King, Elvis Presley, Bob Dylan, Aretha Franklin, Yes, Bonnie Raitt, Bruce Springsteen, Hall & Oates, Blondie, and R.E.M. So this goes to show you.
I don't know if you went inside and looked at all the memorabilia. They have like a little Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, country western memorabilia in the back end on the second floor, and they had the Foo Fighters Halloween concert poster, and I think they sold out in a day or 2 days. The Foo Fighters played there as well. So, and the Ryman Auditorium was actually originally built as a church. That's why there's pews in there and everything. It was built in the early 1900s. There was apparently there was a big shipping magnate that had a lot of money, and he converted to a certain religion. And the gentleman was out in the middle of the fields of Tennessee under a giant tent, and he was getting thousands of people. And he goes, "I'm going to build you a church." And he built them a church in the early 1900s that eventually became the Ryman Auditorium, and it was kept alive during the years that there really wasn't, the church had left, and they weren't getting a lot of entertainment. And there was a woman, and I can't remember her name, but if you go inside, it'll give you the history of how she saved it during the Depression and brought it out through the war and all that stuff. It's a great history, and I'm a big history buff for Americana type of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. I'll have to step inside after the show and check it out.
Yeah.
Well, after lunch anyway. Did you hit any top spots? Because I was talking earlier in the show that I've got my food lineup set, and after the show today, I'm actually going for a lunch at Sean Brock's new restaurant called Audrey, and
great.
It looks nice. And I don't know if you have any other recommendations. I could always squeeze in a third or fourth meal of the day.
But to me, I always love breakfast in Nashville, so I'm a big biscuit love. Fast casual. Also, Milk and Honey is a sit-down breakfast spot. There's usually like a 45-minute wait, but both of those are in the Gulch district of Nashville. As far as lunch, I've always done like a Hattie B's or a hot chicken place, because you can't go to Nashville without getting hot chicken, in my opinion. I mean, Sean Brock is great. I know he's got Husk there, and he's got Husk in a few other locations. So legendary chef, you can't go wrong there. Skull's Rainbow Room is really great. It's in the Writers Alley area of Nashville. And
that's where I'm staying. It's they call it Printer's Alley.
Sorry.
I don't know if one point there was a bunch of printing shops or newspaper. I don't know what it was, but now it's just a bunch of the skeeviest looking dive bars I have ever walked.
And I think Skull's Rainbow Room has that character. They do have live music and shows as well, and you have to go down the steps to get to the dining room. So it's not like, and the food's solid. I hear the pork chop is fabulous. So I mean, it's unique as far as places go. I mean, there's really some phenomenal fine dining places in Nashville, but Skulls, I think, gives you the whole atmosphere with good quality of food.
Yeah, I walked past it last night. We did have a nightcap up on Printers Alley after the show, and yeah, it's you know what, this place has got great vibes because it reminds me a lot of New Orleans. That if you like good
It
music and
does.
you like good food,
And,
this is kind of one of the places to be. And
and I have
you know,
one more place for you, Mike. I mentioned it on
yeah,
your Facebook post. Is if you make your way further up Broadway, it's about a 10-minute walk where the museums are, and there's some really cool museums up that way too. I was fortunate enough to stay at a place called the Hotel at Nashville Yards or something along that lines, but it was the converted Nashville train station. They converted it to a hotel, and it looks like a mini Grand Central. The atrium is
Wow.
gorgeous,
I stayed there.
and it's stunning. You walk
it's
in on the
stunning.
third floor. The lobby's on the third floor. They have
Okay.
rooms on the first and the second floor, and they have rooms on the fourth, fifth, sixth floor.
Interesting.
But you walk in, it's the old train station from like 1912 or
Oh my
1918.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's been renovated. The atrium is gorgeous. They have a really good whiskey bar.
oh, I'm there. Okay, that's it.
And-
Say no
and
more.
What I love is the whiskey bar has its specials on the wall, and it's the old train station signs with the tickers.
Hmm.
And it just keeps going around, and it tells you Woodford Reserve, old fashioned, $15. You know, and it just runs.
Okay.
the ticker. So it,
It's
but it's a
fabulous.
great,
That's
it's a
cool.
great,
It
great
is-
spot for a
it is-
nightcap. It
It
really
is
is.
something.
uh,
Is something you got to go to. I stayed there,
Yeah. So
Okay.
and it
Yeah.
was just it was spectacular.
So it's called Nashville Yards,
yes, like or the
okay.
hotel at Nashville Yards or something like
Okay.
that. But it's a
All right.
converted
it's-
train station.
Sounds like our scene will do it. We'll take a walk up there in
Yeah.
between meals. We'll have a couple of drinks. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the way that sounds where it's coming across the ticker. Buy low, sell high.
and it's a whiskey bar, Mike.
Never
Yeah,
heard of it.
they have a
Absolutely.
full blown
Hey,
whiskey menu. It's impressive.
Hey, speaking of yards, Camden Yards is a place that you're going to be heading to in Baltimore this coming
do.
up week. Now, I know the bloom is off the blanket of roses because the Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty is
Yes.
not going to be competing in the Preakness, but it's still going to be a great race. And are you excited about Preakness 150? You're heading up there at
I
the
am,
beginning of
Monday.
the week, right?
Oh wow.
I'll be flying up Monday. We're doing our post position draw party Monday night at 6:00 at the Guinness Brewery, which is it's just outside of Baltimore. There, they are making a Guinness lager for us, specifically for the Preakness, and then their Guinness Blonde is quite popular in the Maryland area, the Northeast area. So that's where it's produced. So we do our draw party there on Monday. I'll be on site starting Tuesday, and then Friday is Black Eyed Susan Day. Saturday is a Preakness, and I'll be overseeing an area that we call Turfside Terrace, which is a tent for about 2,500 people on the infield that overlooks obviously the finish line area. So that's usually my annual assignment. Plus, I oversee the other managers in the other areas, but I get stuck with the big place. But I can't complain. It's all good. It's all good. I made a couple of reservations. I'm definitely going to go check out the. I like to go check out the. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm drawing, but it's called the Wreck Pier Chop House, which is at the Pendry in Sagamore Pendry, which is right down in Fells Point. It's a beautiful hotel, boutique hotel. The restaurant's good. I'm not gonna say it's great, but it's good. It was. I'm not sure if it's still under Andrew Carmelini or not, but it's a solid restaurant. But I just love buildings, like I mentioned, Nashville Yards. The Wreck Pier House or Chop Pier House at the Pendry. The Pendry itself is a converted recreation pier into a hotel. So the pier is still there, and they built the structure, and the front of it is a huge arch that they made glass windows, but that was the arch that all the horse and buggies would go under in the early 1900s, and that was the recreation pier for the city of Baltimore way back when. Now it's a gorgeous boutique hotel.
Nice.
Pendry. And it's in the middle of Fells Point, which always has my other point that I love to go to in Fells Point is there's a bar called the Horseshoe Rode In On. It's been there since the 1850s.
Wow.
It's famous on the cobblestone streets of Fells Point. It is famous for being Edgar Allan Poe's last stop. He was suffering from pneumonia.
Oh wow.
He went in to have a couple of shots of absinthe, hoping it would cure him
Clear 'em up, yeah.
and clear him up. He stepped outside. He collapsed on the sidewalk. They took him to the hospital. He died a few hours later.
geez.
Oh wow.
So they always advertise Edgar Allan Poe's last stop. And the thing I love about it is they always have live entertainment, and all the bar stools are horse saddles. So you literally have to put, you put your leg, and then you lift your other leg over like you're getting on a horse if you want to sit at the bar. So it's a great little dive bar. It really is a dive bar, but it's a great spot.
You're not going to get crap.
That sounds good. Oh yeah. So I was gonna say, Joe.
Where do you go now? I used to go to the Pimlico for crab cakes, but there's got to be some other places around there now.
In
Well,
Fells Point, there's the Tim's River Oyster House has great crab cakes on a more casual basis. If you want to go high end, I love Lock Bar. I know there's one in Boca, but I always go to the the original
Yeah,
one in
that's the right one.
Baltimore.
yeah, and they make a great, spectacular crab
They
cake.
really do. I really like the
And
Lock Bar.
and speaking of crab cake, so it's like I know people are kind of a little bit disappointed that Sovereignty is not going. But I think journalism is going, and there's a couple of
Oh,
fresh
journalism is
shooters.
okay, good.
I think journalism is going, and again, the horses I already mentioned earlier this week, River Thames from the Todd Fletcher barn, Caldera. It's going to be a bunch of fresh shooters. I think it's a full field of 10 that'll be going. And what I say is, when life hands you lemons, make some crab cakes and squeeze the lemons
Yeah,
over that.
absolutely.
And one of
Absolutely.
my fondest memories, Joe, when I was a sports writer, and I did get to cover the Preakness a couple of times, but I remember that after the race was run and we were all on deadline in the press box typing away, they would bring out these trays of crab cakes. And I don't know if they were brought in from a local caterer or a restaurant or if they made them in house. I don't know. Do they still have that? They would give out these crab cakes. And I think I downed like 6 of them in about 3 minutes.
We used to do them in house right up until the pandemic, and unfortunately, post pandemic, there was staffing shortages, and so we switched to caterers. Right now, we use Ridgewell's Catering, female owned out of DC.
Oh, nice.
She does a lot of big events, like some of the U.S. Opens and so forth. They do a lot of big events, so and their crab cakes are solid too.
Very good.
We
All
still
right.
send
And
them- we still send them to the press box to this day.
and if people want to still experience, this is an historic occasion because it's Preakness 150. It's also the last Preakness to be run at the current, Pimlico. It's going to be torn down and redone. So the race is going to be moving for the next couple of years before it moves back to a rebuilt Pimlico, the same way that Belmont is being rebuilt, and the Belmont Stakes is going to be run at Saratoga again this year at 1.25 miles, not 1.5 miles. But if people want to go, they can still get online and get tickets, right? It's a bucket list item, especially at Pimlico.
That is
right?
correct. It's on the Preakness website, so www.preakness.com. And you can go on. There's various options for tickets, whether you want to just do grandstand, general admission, if you want to dine in one of the inside dining rooms of the building, or if you'd like to go out into the infield. There are a couple of options out there. You can go to Turfside Terrace, where I'll be working. Prices are a little pricey. I mean, tickets are a little pricey there. They're a little better if you buy them for both days grouped together, Friday and Saturday. Turfside Terrace, though, for the ticket price does include unlimited food and unlimited alcohol.
Nice.
So on
Nice.
the lower end for pricing, Ray Lewis will be overseeing what we call our Fan Fest. Used to be called Mug and Vine. That's bottomless beer and wine. I
Oh,
think
God.
those tickets are closer to like 100, maybe 125. I haven't checked this year's pricing. I apologize, but usually inside Turfside is $300 per day, or $500 if you buy 2 days, I believe. $500 or $600 if you buy 2
All right,
days.
two more things before I let you go, and we'll take our third break and get out of here. All right, first of all, after the Preakness, you come back home, and we have another one of your special Taste of the Tracks coming up later in the month. Let's talk about that a bit. It's the martinis, paninis, and linguini.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I
you
got it
nailed
right.
it. You
Nailed
nailed
it.
it.
Right. You
That's
got
it.
it right, big boy.
Yes,
Yeah, so
and
it's great. We're going to do that on Sunday, May 25th. Tickets are available. So again, it's on a Sunday. So if you'll go on to the Gulfstream Park website, www.gulfstreampark.com, click on events, it'll take you to the Taste at the Track landing page for the martinis, paninis, and linguini. Chef is working on the menu right now. He actually reached out to me and asked me if I could provide my mom's Sunday gravy recipe, because I think what we'll be doing is like a Sunday gravy table.
Yeah.
That'll include, brajol and sausage and
Brajol.
meatballs and
Oh,
so forth.
beautiful.
How to
And
make
then-
brajol from scratch?
My grandmother did, and I have a recipe, but we have not. My
Oh,
mom and I
really?
have not tackled brajol yet. But I can do a quick plug for Runway 84. They do a great version
Yes,
of
they
it too.
do. Yes, they do.
I got one there when last time I went to Runway.
That's
But
excellent.
again, we'll do probably the panini station. I know the chicken parm was a very popular
Oh my
panini.
God, it was ridiculous.
The carpaccio, beef carpaccio was very popular as well. People still raved about it. So
Yep.
chef's finalizing the menu. And as far as alcohol goes, we have all the vodkas, obviously, Tito's and Grey Goose and Absolute and Kettle One. And then, of course, we'll have Grey Well gin, and a few other gins will be there, and a couple of tequilas as well. That'll make some tequila martinis. So
Well, mark me down for 2. I will definitely be there with Val for that one. It's going to be a great way to break up the Memorial Day weekend. You could go a little bit of beach time on Saturday,
Yep.
then go to the Great Taste of the Track on Sunday, Monday, could stay home and throw some burgers and other things
You can
on the
recover.
grill.
Correct.
All right,
Recovery, right.
before I let you go, Joe, all right, we got to talk some sports. All right, it's been a week of almost near miracles. We've had, first of all, 2J's Matzo Ball Soup won a blind taste testing for
Oh,
a
wow.
judging panel that we did in conjunction with the Sun Sentinel.
There's been steward inquiries on that. I was there witnessing it with Mayo.
It was all legit.
Blind. It was legit, and we were just as baffled as everyone who's heard.
And
the,
even
wow.
Danny Surfer, a well-respected chef restaurateur, had 2J's Matzo Ball Soup at the top of his scorecard. And again, they didn't know beforehand what was what. So, but props to them. So, okay, that was upset number one. Then we get an American Pope. That's upset number two. Now we've got the Cavs are trailing 0-2 to Indiana. We've got the Panthers trailing 0-2 to Toronto Maple Leafs, and we've got the Celtics, who everybody was anointing. And this is why they play the games, folks. The Knicks are up 2-0. Joe Beja, do you really think this miracle is possible? Can the Knicks knock off the Celtics? And how important is the game 3 tomorrow? What's
He's
your
going to look
prediction?
pretty stupid. He's going to look pretty stupid in the Knicks hat. If he
they're up 2-0.
But listen. Can the Knicks do it? Yes. Am I 100% confident yet? Not really. No, because I really do think the Celtics can rattle off 4 in a row. I really do. I think they are that good. But I just love the fact that the Knicks were giving zero chance in this series. Zero. Like everyone was saying, Celtics in 4, maybe a gentleman's sweep in 5. Weird. And the fact that even if the Celtics roar back, it's going at least 6. I think it's probably going to go 7.
Well, a guy that we all Mayo knows personally, and we become friends with through our show, and I presume you gentlemen have followed him through the years. Len Robbins, who's been on the Sports Reporters, he's been on ESPN, he was a longtime New York Post writer, and he's now a professor, which is funny to me when you talk to Len Robbins. He put a post out there on Facebook, and I guess he's dealing with the New York fans because he was like, yes, the Knicks are up 2-0, but let's slow down. The Celtics are this and that. And look, he's a Northeastern guy. He's surrounded by Northeastern media who have the opinion that the people you're talking about had. And I said, look, Len, okay, as you know, I'm a South Florida guy through and through. But if you've talked to sane Knicks fans, which I'll give them credit, it's why I've totally gone on against the Celtics in this. Between the two fan bases, the Knicks have actually become more sane than I've dealt with in my life, and the Celtics fan have become more crazy. And I get it. The media, who a lot of the national media come out of the Northeast, got this weird opinion about the Celtics, like Bird and Parrish and McHale were there. Like, this is not that team. They're a nice team. They won a title, but they also had the easiest route possibly in NBA history to get a title. They just did. It's not every single team they faced was missing their number 1. Some were missing their number 2. That's just a reality, and they won, and that's fine. But the Knicks spent a lot of money this offseason. The Knicks made a lot of moves, and it was literally to target this team. They brought in guys to make sure if you're going to live by the 3, you're going to die by the 3. And it's the 25% shooting thing isn't by accident when you do 2 games in a row. Okay, Bridges, I don't know, but you're 2 of the best.
All right, you're getting deep in the weeds here, Lubie. All we gotta say that Defo would obviously say Game 3 is pivotal because if the Celtics get on the board, then it's one. Then all of a sudden it's a whole new series, and the Knicks fans are rightfully concerned. But if the Knicks go up 3-0, then it's either a collapse of historic proportions. I don't think any team in the NBA has come back from an 0-3 hole. Is that correct?
No, the Celtics almost did it. The
almost
Celtics
did it against Miami.
Took 3 in a row, and then Tatum pretended to get hurt, even though he was still dunking on people. And the Heat won that game 7. Anyways, just to finish what I said to Robbins, I said, look, Knicks fans have actually not been doing that. They're doing what Joe's doing. They're going, look, we're up 2-0. And we're not saying we're going to win. We're just proud that all you people who get like the sweep thing I thought was weird. That was my only thing. I was like, dude, if you watch the Knicks play, they're going to win a couple games.
I've gone crazy on my Instagram and my social media about the Knicks winning just to celebrate the winning because I'm ecstatic because I never expected it. But am I expecting this to, no way.
Real quick, let's go around the horn. Joe, I would need predictions, overall series predictions. Who's going to win and how many games? Knicks, Celtics, Cavs, Pacers, and the Panthers, Toronto, finally, and the Vegas Knights and Edmonton. Everybody, quick. How much? I mean, what's the predictions?
Okay, real quick. Pacers in 5 because Cleveland's got too many injuries. Maple Leafs in 6. I think the Panthers are going to fight back, but I think the Leafs are still hot. I think Knicks in 7 at this particular point. I think the Knicks can win 2 out of the next 5 games. And then what was the last one? Oh, Oilers. I hate to say it, it's the
Yeah,
Oilers
they're
in
two
5 at
guys.
this point. They're really playing really, really well. And as much as the Knights have some talent to them, that offense that Edmonton rolls out there every game they're going to score 4 goals every single
That's
game.
annoying. We
So,
saw it last year.
the
Tony,
Knights
real
have
quick.
actually-
I love the Pacers. I love the Knicks. I really do love the Knicks. I think they can win it.
Imagine everything turned upside down in a
weird.
week. Last week, nobody
Oh,
could go against the Cavs. They were world
No.
beaters. Same
Yep.
thing with the Celtics. It just shows you, Tony Segreto, in sports, this is why they play the games.
This
All
is
the
why
experts.
they play the games
Yes.
because you could get.
You never know.
I go back to '83. Miami doesn't have a chance against Nebraska.
Oh yeah,
They beat them. So,
Yep.
And then the Panthers. And what do you think about the Oilers?
Panthers come back and win it.
The series?
Yeah,
Okay.
Really?
Look, I hope you're right.
Wow. Okay. And
And then
finally,
Vegas
Vegas
Oilers.
Knights are cooked. Oh, and then Lubie, what are your
All
thoughts
right,
basically
so-
on the Panthers and then the Cavs
I would
and the
actually
Knicks?
still believe in the Celtics. My problem is they're down 0-2 and they don't have another plan. And it would scare the crap out of me if I'm a Celtics fan. Like, yeah, they're going to make some threes. It's not going to be a sweep or anything like that. But when you're down 0-2 and you don't have another thing to do, the Knicks are just going to find blood. Like, I don't know if the Knicks are winning a title. I know all of the Pope stuff is feeling like destiny. And the Villanova stuff. I don't know. I think the Thunder are just sort of a buzzsaw at this point. But it feels like it's Knicks. Now, I will say Game 7 in Boston would scare the daylights out of me. So I think it's Knicks in 6 because they have that 2-game cushion. The Garden will explode if they don't. Like, the Garden's going to be, the tickets are going like it was the finals in 93. Like, I think more expensive than the finals in 93. So I think the Knicks win in 6. They're going to be at home for that game. So they'll close that out and they're up 2. And I don't think the Celtics, the way they're stubborn, the way they're coached. The Panthers, I don't know what to do with them. Like, they have heart, but Bobrovsky's playing like garbage. There's no other way to say it. Like, he's making amazing saves, but the goals he's allowing are goals you should never. The last goal was I didn't even get mad at it. I just laughed. Like, the dude, it was literally like what you do when you're just trying to, like what Halliburton did. Like, the guy was not even looking at the net. He just threw it at the net, and Bobrovsky just watched it go in, and it was a game-winning goal. It's like, dude, what are you doing? And they go by him. Like, you need your goalie in the playoffs to be playing big. They scare me. I don't think they win the series, but I agree with Joe. They have enough heart to probably go 6.
All right.
It pains me
Yeah,
to pick against-
unfortunately, we're back to bad Mr. Magoo Bob instead of good Bob.
I think the Panthers
And
lose in 6. I hope I'm wrong. I think the Knights will fight.
I'm not going to give up on them. I'm going to go. This is my prediction for both of these series, these game 3s, both in the Panthers Maple Leaf series and in the Knicks Celtics series. Whoever wins game 3, I think, wins the series. So
Yes,
that's what we'll say.
I think the Panthers will win it there. I think the Knights will fight back, but the Oilers, again, they just are
Yeah,
they learned last
they're
year
deep.
already. I think they'll finish that in 6. I think the Knights will get a couple games. And then the Cavs,
All right.
I think it'll go 6, but the Cavs will lose. They're just too injured.
All right. Hey, I'm on the move. I got to get to lunch. I can't be late for a Sean Brock
We
restaurant
got
lunch.
last
So
we'll get out of here.
let's take the last break. Joe, I appreciate everything. Have a great time up in Baltimore. We'll touch base with you again in 2 weeks. And unless you want to phone in for a little live report from Baltimore next week, that'd be great. All right, let's take the third and final break. And guys, can you wrap it up without me?
You
Because
will.
I'm going to
Sure
get out
will.
of here.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week. Enjoy, everybody.
You
And
too.
happy
Enjoy
Mother's
it.
Day to everybody.
We'll be back to 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park after this.
Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information,
All righty, we're going to sign off for this week. We wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Again, get your entries in for the Ten Palms Brunch Contest tomorrow by 12 o'clock. The restaurant with all the trivia questions. Again, Mayo will post it later on Let's Eat South Florida. The game, you have to pick the race is the 10th race here at Gulfstream Park. There's picks number 1 through 14. And the game will be the Knicks Celtics Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Again, by 12 o'clock, MikeMayoEats@gmail.com. For Tony Segreto, for Defo, for Mr. Nashville, Mike Mayo, and Joe Beja. Have a happy Mother's Day, one and all.
Happy Mother's
a great
Day.
weekend. And we will see you Monday. We're at Jackson's, actually. We have a iconic eateries of South Florida, thanks to Transworld Business Advisor. So we'll be at Jackson's Monday, a big week next week. Happy Mother's Day, one and all. And we'll see you Monday on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox as we sign off from Gulfstream Park, Ten Palms, and
Enjoy every sandwich.
good man.